All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to yet another session of the guided newspaper practice. We do these sessions with the aim to help students read quickly, understand new vocabulary every day, which helps them with their sections of reading, speaking, and also sometimes writing. All right. Yes. Good morning, Shilpa. Good morning, Vishav. Yes. So today is going to be about a hurricane that hit the US some time back, and this is a comment on how US should take lessons from their past hurricanes. This is again an opinionated article written by someone and on how US should take learnings from their past hurricanes. Good morning, Jashan, Geetanjali, Shri Sai, Abinash. Good morning. Okay, so what we will do right now is I will first read the article very slowly, and from there you will be able to understand what the article looks like, and then I will do speed reading, and you will have to use your eye to read quickly. The third exercise will be guided speaking, as in you will repeat after me with the same kind of stresses that I make, which will help you understand how you should pronounce words and how you should vary your tone when you use sentences. After that, we will kind of understand what US can do. You will be framing your own opinions. Okay, so this session, we organize these sessions with the aim to help students read quickly, understand content that is difficult quickly, and also frame their own opinions, also framing thoughts. These are the aims of this session. All right. Good morning, everyone who's joining in right now. We will quickly get started with today's reading. Okay. Yes. So I'm just going to read it slowly now. Try and understand. Don't worry about the words that you don't know. Okay. Yes. But give it a try. Give it a try to understand what the content is. The philosopher and essayist John George once wrote, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." With respect to hurricanes, this saying is both wrong and right depending on one's perspective. It is wrong in that no matter how much we know about the past hurricanes, new ones will always arrive, creating a repetitive history of widespread damage, economic pain, and death. However, by remembering and understanding the history of hurricanes, we as a society can decide how best to respond to the continued barrage that is sure to come from the greatest storms on earth, thereby lessening their impact. Today, as Isaias threatens the East Coast with flooding after making landfall as a hurricane on Monday, how we respond takes on an added level of urgency, especially in the light of threats posed by global warming. In an average year, six hurricanes dance over the Atlantic, three of which are major hurricanes defined as having sustained winds of at least 111 miles per hour. The number of hurricanes vary from year to year. Fortunately, a few of these storms actually make landfall. Typically, two hurricanes hit the United States annually, and a major one pummels the country only once every 2 years. Okay, so if you followed me there, were you able to follow what the article was about? Give me a yes if you were able to follow, and also give me a percentage maybe as to how much you were able to understand of the article. Were you able to just understand 50% of it, 75% of it, or how much? Good morning, Anumala, Reena, Varun, Shivendra, Sunaina. Good morning. Yes. All right. Yeah. So just give me how much you understood on the chat box so I know whether you picked up the difficult words. Now, what we will do is I will read a little faster than what I did a while back, and then you will have to try and read as quickly as possible. And why is this exercise important? Why is speed reading important? Speed reading is important for your reading section. Now, in your reading section, you sometimes have to get exposed to long texts, and it requires you to stay ahead of the passage in order to get your answers right. Correct? So we will do some speed reading. Good, all of you who have understood a lot on the passage. Okay, yes, so we'll just do some speed reading and then we will do guided speaking where I'll also be telling you the meanings of these words. Okay. All right. The philosopher and essayist George once wrote, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." Now, while I'm reading this, make sure you're using your eye to pick up the key words. That's how you do skimming, right? Okay. With respect to hurricanes, this saying is both wrong and right depending on one's perspective. It is wrong in that no matter how much we know about the past hurricanes, new ones will always arrive, creating a repetitive history of widespread damage, economic pain, and death. However, by remembering and understanding the history of hurricanes, we as a society can decide how best to respond to the continued barrage that is sure to come from the greatest storms on earth, thereby lessening their impact. Today, as Isaias threatens the East Coast with flooding after making landfall as a hurricane on Monday, how we respond takes on an added level of urgency, especially in the light of the threats posed by global warming. In an average year, six hurricanes dance over the Atlantic, three of which are major hurricanes, defined as having sustained winds of at least 111 miles per hour. The number of hurricanes vary from year to year. Fortunately, few of these storms actually make landfall. Typically, two hurricanes hit the United States annually, and a major one pummels the country only once every 2 years. Okay, so that was some quick reading. And let's see the difficult words that we had. Okay, all right, let's go sentence by sentence, and let me also tell you what these words actually mean. And with when you do a lot of these article reading, what happens is you get used to understanding the context without actually knowing the meaning of a certain word. Okay, and by now I'm sure, because you've read it at least twice, by now I'm sure you've understood what the passage is trying to tell us. But let's get to specifics now, and let's do some scanning. Now, why is scanning important? Scanning is important for your reading section again, for you to get your answers correctly, for you to reach your answers specifically. All right. So give me a yes if you're with me until now. Give me a yes on the comments box so I know that you're participating. All right. So let's get to guided speaking now. You will repeat after me along with the same kind of stresses, same kind of pauses. And why is guided speaking so important? Why is speaking after me very important? In your speaking section, you will be tested on how well you pronounce words and how well you make these stresses. So that's why when you understand how to pause when a comma comes, it becomes easy for you. All right. Yes. So let's get started with speaking now, and then I'll explain the difficult words to you. The philosopher and essayist George once wrote, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." With respect to hurricanes, this saying is both wrong and right, depending on one's perspective. It is wrong in that no matter how much we know about the past hurricanes, new ones will always arrive, creating a repetitive history of widespread damage, economic pain, and death. However, by remembering and understanding the history of hurricanes, we as a society can decide how best to respond to the continued barrage that is sure to come from the greatest storms on earth, thereby lessening their impact. Today, as Isaias threatens the East Coast with flooding, after making landfall as a hurricane on Monday, how we respond takes on an added level of urgency. Especially in the light of threats posed by global warming. Okay, so this paragraph had some great words. Let's look at them one by one. Now, condemned is to punish. All right, so to condemn someone is to punish someone. So the sentence says, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So they will kind of repeat the past again if they don't remember the past or take action on what happened in the past. All right. So to condemn is to punish someone or to reprimand someone. Okay. Now, hurricane, what is a hurricane? So, hurricane is a storm, basically, some kind of a wild storm that hits the land and causes damage to property and lives. Okay, so they say that it is important that you remember what the past hurricanes had, but it is both right and wrong to not remember the past. Okay, so what they say is no matter what we do, new ones will always come, right? Creating a repetitive history. What is repetitive? It's not repetitive, it's repetitive. What is repetitive? Something that's on again and again, something that happens again and again, right? So, anyway, the new ones will come and will still create widespread damage, economic pain, and death. What is economic pain? Again, suffering of economy. That will anyway happen, right? So, however, so what they say or how they differ is that by remembering and understanding the history of hurricanes, as in by understanding what happened in the past, we as a society can decide how best to respond to the continued barrage that is sure to come from the greatest storms on earth. Now, what is barrage here? It's pronounced barrage, barrage. Okay, that's the pronunciation. Remember this. Now, what does barrage mean? Something that's a hit, something that's a wild hit that takes at you. Okay, constant criticism, constant, remarks on what you're doing. That's a barrage. Okay, so we can respond to the constant damage or the constant hit that these hurricanes have, and we can lessen their impact. What is lessening? It's not lessen, lessening their impact. Okay, so we can kind of reduce their impact by understanding or responding to the damage that these hurricanes create. Okay, that's what the sentence says. Now, they're all defending this idea. If you think about it, all these sentences are defending this one sentence actually. Okay, so again, they're coming now to the specific hurricane here. Today, as Isaias threatens the East Coast with flooding after making landfall. Now, what exactly is a landfall? So, when a hurricane or a storm hits land, that's called landfall. Okay, so the moment it hits land, that's when the damage actually starts. That's called a landfall. Okay, it's one word, remember, there is no space between land and fall. So, after making landfall as a hurricane on Monday, how we respond takes on takes on, as in, uh, takes responsibility or brings us the responsibility an added level of urgency. It's not urgency, it's urgency. Okay, reduce the stress on R, it's urgency. Now, so how we respond takes on an added level of urgency, as in brings it with itself and level of emergency there. Okay, especially in light of the threats posed by global warming. So it's posed again, it's not post, it's posed. Posed. Okay, that's how the word is pronounced. So these are some words that we looked at from this paragraph. Let's now move to the next one, the shorter paragraph, and understand and do guided speaking and then understand some vocabulary there. All right. Okay. So let's get to the second paragraph now. In an average, 6 hurricanes dance over the Atlantic, 3 of which are major hurricanes, defined as having sustained winds of at least 111 miles per hour. The number of hurricanes varies from year to year. Fortunately, few of these storms actually make landfall. Typically, 2 hurricanes hit the United States annually, and a major one pummels the country only about once every 2 years. Okay, so this paragraph gives this specific detail about the hurricanes that can hit the US. Let's take a look at some words here. 6 hurricanes dance over the Atlantic. They move over the Atlantic. These are storms that build, right? That's what they mean by dance, not the literal dance that we know of. Okay, dance over the Atlantic. What Atlantic is ocean, Atlantic Ocean. Okay, 3 of which are major hurricanes. So they're big ones. 3 of which, about 6 come over or form over the Atlantic. 3 of those 6 are major, defined as having sustained winds of at least 111 miles per hour. What does sustained means? Sustained is basically something that's constant, okay, something that's continued, something that's a continuous process. That's called sustained winds, a constant speed of at least 111 miles per hour. Okay, mph is miles per hour. The number of hurricanes varies from year to year, differs, changes, varies. That's how it's pronounced. Okay. Fortunately, fortunately, that's how it's not fortunately, it's fortunately. Fortunately, few of these storms actually make landfall. As in, the good thing is that very few of these storms actually hit the land, right? That's what they're trying to say. Now, typically, it's typically, it's not typically, it's typically. Okay, that's the word here. Typically, 2 hurricanes hit the United States annually. Okay, as in 2 storms hit the United States in a year. Okay, and a major one pummels the country only about once every 2 years. So they say that 2 hurricanes hit the United States annually, and a major one, as in a big one, pummels. That's how it's pronounced. Pummels. Okay. So it means to hit, basically, to hit someone very hard, usually used in terms of boxing. But in this case, it is about hitting the country, hitting the land of United States. That's what it says. That's what pummels means. Okay. So a major one pummels the country only once every 2 years. So you have a lot of storms that build around the Atlantic, but on an average, just three of them are actually severe. And out of that, only few actually make and hit the land of United States. And once in 2 years, it kind of comes as a big storm. It hits as a big storm. That's what pummels means. Okay? Yes. So now, did you understand the passage completely? Did you understand the article to some extent? So we did some guided speaking and who understood the words to some pronunciations to some common words, right? So good job, all of you who repeated along with me in the same kind of stresses that I had. Remember, your tone has to be rising when you start a sentence, and the tone has to kind of fall down when you end a sentence. Okay, that's again another feature of pronunciation. So I hope you did that properly. Yes, Suman, good. Sai Babu, Shivendra, Swapnil, good. Gagan, Ketsi, yes. So that's how you repeat and you understand how pronunciation is done. Okay, so now that you've read the article, you will be able to say whether is it good to respond to a hurricane in advance, or is it necessary to look at the impact and take action. Okay, so think about it this way. Don't say yes or no. Just give me a complete sentence. Form a complete sentence on your own. And is it good to respond to these natural disasters in advance, or gauge their impact, see how much they're going to impact, and then respond? Write as a complete sentence and also think why. So, why do you think responding in advance is good? Or why do you think waiting for it to form, waiting for the storm to form and hit the land is necessary? Think about it that way and put your sentences on the chat box. Okay. Now, while you do this, try to use these words: condemn, sustained, pummel. These are some words that landfall. These are some good words that we learned today. Repetitive, right? So think about it. Think about what your opinion is and put on your chat box. Now, this is exactly how you will frame opinions in your task two, as in IELTS writing, right? So you are asked to think of an opinion and build on that answer. And only when you have this thought process, or only when you trigger that thought process, it becomes easy. Correct? So just put your sentences using these words that you learned. Okay. Good job, Swapnil. Good job. Yes. Diet and herbs. Yes. All right. Okay. So a lot of you are already our fast track members, and now I'm going to shift focus and talk about our advanced fast track program. Some of you may have been Utkarsh, Amanpreet, and all of you are already a part of our fast track program. But I'll just tell you what this program entails. So the program consists of a lot of video lessons along with practice every day on different sections. And we also give you a vocabulary and grammar quiz every day along with this daily practice. The weekdays are given to live sessions based on the practice that we give you, and the weekends contain the teaching, basically the conceptual teaching that happens for each section. Now, all of these video lessons, all of these classes happen entirely online. The live classes happen through Zoom, just like this, and the video lessons, all of them are there on our exclusive app. Along with this, you also have access to the chief coaches for any doubts that you have. And also, you have access to 10 full reviews. And these reviews include not just the writing and the speaking section, they also include the listening and the reading section. So I will leave the link to the admissions form on the description of this video. You can fill out the admissions form. If you're looking at the recording as well, you can fill this out at any time you want to. All right. Okay. So it was nice bringing you this session. Make sure you add your sentences so that the others can also see what you think about hurricanes. Okay. Good day, everyone. Have a nice day and make sure you keep studying. Bye bye.